Hey everyone, it's your girl Kateria Knows, back with another video. Thank you guys so much for joining me for these videos. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 9 things that I learned from being in a twin flame union. But before I get into the material of today's video, I do want to encourage you guys, if you find this video to be of any use, definitely like it. And if this is your first time coming to my channel, definitely subscribe. Also, if I leave anything out, if you guys have been in a twin flame union, let me know. And if I leave anything out, from learning different things when it comes to the twin flame relationship, you let me know what you may have learned, okay? So nevertheless, let's jump right into it. Let's start with what twin flames are. There are so many different definitions to what a twin flame is. Well, to me, a twin flame union is a relationship where you are coming and merging together with a person who you have a deep soul connection to. Like one of the deepest soul connections that you could possibly encounter or even have as a human being on planet Earth. Now, when it comes to these twin flame relationships, these people have a very strong, familiar sense in energy to you when you first encounter or meet them. Now, when it comes to the twin flame union that I was in, I am no longer in my twin flame union, but I do consider my ex to be my twin flame, and I feel that I only have one twin flame. He will forever be my one twin flame. That doesn't mean that there aren't other connections to encounter and to have and to love for the rest of your life. We have a relationship called the divine complement, which is a very, very beautiful relationship and a lot easier than the twin flame reunion. Now, nevertheless, my twin flame union lasted for about 4 years, and my twin flame and I, we dreamed about each other before we met one another, or well, he sensed the energy of a mystical woman coming into his life. I dreamed about him before I met him. We had beauty marks in common in similar spaces. The dimensions of our body were very similar. We very much so looked very similar to one another. People would always think that we were brother or sister. Even the first thing I said to him was, you look like you could be one of my brothers. That was the first thing that I ever said to him coming out of my mouth. So we met on a very auspicious day in my life, my personal anniversary day, June 22nd. And we also broke up on that day exactly 4 years later, and we're not even aware that it was that date. I'm not getting into the story of that though. Nevertheless, the twin flame relationship was very intense for me, and it took me quite a while to heal and finally get over that relationship. I don't know how long it took you guys, but it took me quite some time to get over my twin flame relationship. And it took a long time because there was definitely a lot of reflecting on the relationship that had to be done. I mean, you're encountering someone who's so soulfully connected to you, who's reflecting your darkest characteristics onto you, as well as shining your bright light to who you are. And in order to really heal past that type of a relationship, you definitely want to take some time, really heal, really reflect on what the relationship was about, and all of these things, before you break away, because they're teaching you lessons about love. And if you want love, you want divine unionships and relationships in the future, you're going to want to take the time to heal from this type of relationship and really see what your partner was trying to teach you and what you were teaching your partner, because whatever you're teaching your partner, you're teaching yourself. And as a matter of fact, I have a video called How to Get Over a Breakup where I go more in depth on all of those things. But nevertheless, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. I'm going to share with you the 9 things that I learned from being in a twin flame union, and you definitely want to watch the video to the end, because I'm going to be giving my bonus tip on what I learned from being in a twin flame union. The first thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is the insidious nature of my ego. Yes, I was already aware and enlightened and all of these things when I came into my twin flame union, but during the relationship and certainly after the relationship, I recognized certain things about my ego that I was not aware of. I saw that I was, a little just egotistical and wanting a certain level of control, and I was trying to validate myself based upon the relationship that I was in. It was very, very unhealthy for me. I also saw that I had certain power struggles and control within myself, and I wanted a certain level of attention and or power. And it came out in my twin flame relationship. I do want you guys to excuse the background noise. I live in a very noisy neighborhood temporarily, and if you are hearing noise from my background, I do apologize. I do try to shoot at times where there isn't so much noise, but it's hard to do that sometimes, okay? So nevertheless, I still want to share this information with you guys, so try to drown out the noise, okay? I apologize. Nevertheless, my ego. I learned a lot about my own ego when it came to that relationship, how it worked and what it was really doing and how insidious it was. If I didn't go through the relationship that I went through, I wouldn't be so clear that I had these egotistical characteristics, and it was some really, really, really horrible things that I saw within myself. I actually took a year to just sit in silence, to meditate, to really go within and to do some deep soul searching and clearing out my ego and understanding how to incorporate my ego in a healthy way. The second thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is the extent of my insecurities. Yes. I did not know that I was as insecure as I was until I got into this relationship. My insecurities flared up. I was just so I became more possessive. I became more jealous of different interactions. And I didn't even know that I was insecure for certain things that I was insecure about. I was insecure about just being who I am rather than being able to be so many different things, so many different people, or to the extent of my knowledge. I was insecure that I didn't know all the things in the world, and I didn't even know that I was insecure about these types of things. I'm not anymore. I'm very comfortable in who I am, in all of who I am. I don't want to be anything more, anything less than who I am, but this came out, when I was healing from my twin flame union. It was really, really deep. The third thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is the vulnerability of men. Yes, I'm sorry, I have to say, I was not very aware of the extent of men's vulnerability. I just thought that men were just very strong and they were tough and they were emotionally, not in alignment in things. And I didn't know that they are as vulnerable as they really truly are. But, a lot of their masculinity or their emotions are covered with their masculinity or even their toxic masculinity, but being in the twin flame union, I got a chance to see that men are also vulnerable, see that they deal with insecurities, see that they even experience the same thing that we women experience, and this was so helpful for me because now that I am moving forward in my life and finding love and all of these things, I know how to treat my partner, understanding that there are still vulnerabilities there and not crossing, certain lines or boundaries or not disregarding his vulnerability and his emotions and things like this. This was so helpful for me. The fourth thing that I learned from being in a twin flame relationship is how important it is to protect your relationship, to protect the energy of your relationship. When I was in my twin flame union, I had so many people around me. I would just let anybody in my home. People would spend the night. I was having different parties and different things. I was sharing different information that I was experiencing within my relationship, thinking that I'm just sharing and that we're all together and all of these kinds of things. But no, you cannot. Your relationship should be sacred. It should be between you and your partner. Of course, you can have close confidants around you who you could share certain things with or get advice from and all of these kinds of things. But I was just way too open with my relationship. I let so many people come into my union and know different things about my relationship, and it was terrible. It was a travesty, so I know the importance of keeping a relationship sacred and protecting a relationship. The fifth thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is the potential power of my beauty and my presence and my femininity and my grace. Yeah, I was not very aware of the power that I really have as a woman and even with my beauty until I got into the twin flame union. And I learned these things just based upon the experiences that me and my twin flame had. I was able to tap more into my actual spiritual telekinetic capabilities and just more of my feminine power, and my divine feminine energy, just connecting and drawing him in and doing different things and connecting to him while he was very far away, and all of these things. And I also was able to see how my physical beauty, how it affected people, how people responded to it in good ways or even negative ways, and how to use it to benefit me rather than to use my beauty to make other people feel less than, or to even diminish myself, because there was a time that I would try to diminish my beauty and diminish myself and my power. But the relationship definitely helped me to recognize it and to learn how to incorporate it in my life and learn how to utilize it to heal rather than to tear people down and destroy others and all of these things. This is a very, very unique lesson that I learned with that. The sixth thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is my weaknesses. Yes, I learned so much about my weaknesses, and this definitely goes along with insecurities. But yeah, I learned that I can't do it all. I learned that I do need assistance, that I do need help. I am a superwoman, but even when you are a superwoman, you still need divine masculine protection and energy and overall assistance around you to help guide you and to help protect you, to just love you, to infuse you with energy, And being in a twin flame union, there were different circumstances that came about where, I just needed my partner to be there, or my partner would just share certain things with me that I didn't naturally have, embedded within myself. And I mean, basic things like learning how to breathe properly and things like this, and learning how to connect with my physical body more, and learning that I had certain weaknesses where others have a certain level of strengths, and how we can come together and allow those to be blended. And I see my daughter to the right side of me mimicking me and mocking me as I'm doing the video. But nevertheless, this is the sixth thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union. The seventh thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is how to properly love another person. Yes, I definitely learned how to properly love another person for all their strengths, their weaknesses, their downfalls, their fears, their vulnerabilities, all of these different things. I've learned how to properly love another person and to not just solely depend on another person to make me happy, all of those kinds of things. I know to love a person through their love language as well as my own love language. It's very important to do that, because if I'm only loving them from my love language, and if our love languages aren't the same, then they're not going to feel my love. So I know that it's important to love them through their love language and also understand how they are giving me love, even though it may not be, the same as my love language, but to share with them what my love language is so that they can love me properly with my love language as well as their own. This was very, very, and a very important lesson for myself, because it allows me to love fully and to experience love fully and completely. And now I know to just simply enjoy a person's universe, but to be built up so much in myself that I don't need another person around me all the time. I don't need their reassurance all the time. I am so full within who I am and within myself that just being able to spend time with another person is just beautiful enough, but it's not something that is a necessity for me to feel full and complete within my life. So this was very important, learning how to love another person while being in a twin flame union. The 8th thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union is actually what a relationship is. What is a relationship? And this is what I learned. I learned that relationships are partnerships. I know that sounds like it's redundant. I just said the same thing, but no, really thinking about that, a partner. This is your partner in reality. Life on planet Earth is not the easiest life to experience and to exist in. And when you're in a relationship with a person, they are your partner within this reality. They got your back, you got their back, and you guys are helping each other, doing the things that you need to do within this reality to make life as easier as it could possibly be within being in a relationship, and I just learned the value of partnership, especially after being single for so many years. After the relationship ended, I realized the little things that my partner brought into my life were very valuable, and very necessary, and helped me to be who I am and helped me to do the things that I am doing in life overall, So yeah, partnership is so beautiful. It's so important. It's one of the most beautiful experiences that we could have as human beings, and it's really important to see your partner as a partner in life. So, and to know that when you're having an issue within your relationship, don't think of it as I have this issue, you have this issue. No, think of it as this is us. We are partners, and there is an issue that we are attacking. We're not attacking one another. We are together in this partnership, and we are fighting the problem together instead of fighting at each other. This is so powerful, and I learned this after the relationship when I just was sitting back and reflecting on why things broke down and how things broke down, and all of that. So really, really important. Before I get into my last and most significant lesson that I learned from being in a twin flame union, I definitely want to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, like the video, and definitely comment below if any of these things resonate with you, or if you feel that there's something else that you learned from being in a twin flame union, because I may be leaving out something. When we make these YouTube videos, we can't say everything. So nevertheless, my last and final tip or lesson that I learned from being in a twin flame union is how to love myself and why it's so important to do so. Yes, I really had to learn this lesson. This was the number one thing for me when it comes to just life and relationships and love, and knowing that the relationship that we have with ourselves precede all other relationships around us. So if the relationship with ourselves is healthy and it's well and it's solid and it's good, we are going to be really perfect and awesome people when it comes to connecting with others, because that foundation is covered and it's taken care of. And we're not going to get in these partnerships with people who are toxic, people who are superficial, people who are less intelligent than ourselves, or whatever it may be. If we fully love ourselves, who we are going to naturally attract better people around us. Or if we draw in an energy that is not so synchronized with our own, we're going to decline the offers to join in some form of a partnership with it, because we're going to feel so good and so solid within ourselves. We're going to enjoy our own company so much that we're only going to want to take in the company of a person that is adding to us, that is bringing joy into our lives, that is bringing some form of value and intelligence and growth and spirituality and information. We're only going to bring those types of people in. We're not going to get into these unionships where we feel that we are being extracted from, So, and also when it comes to loving myself and learning to love myself fully, I had to come to loving my physical form and loving my intelligence, loving the way that I translate information, loving just my own reflection and the way that I move, the way that I demonstrate. Because the way that I love myself, my partner is going to know how to love me based on that. So yeah, I buy myself flowers. I don't buy flowers so much anymore because I don't like the fact that they're now gonna just die or whatever, but I do nice things for myself. I take myself out, you know, I treat myself very well. I make sure I'm giving myself everything that I need, getting enough water, sleep, exercise, and I'm going after my dreams, and I am pushing myself ahead in my reality because I do love myself, you know, and I know that me doing this, I'm only attracting people around me and partners in my reality who will reflect that love and who do reflect that love back to me. So this was my final tip, and it's so important. Twin flame unions are beautiful. They're miraculous. They come to teach you the most important things that you need to learn when it comes to life and love. And they're very mystical, and there's so much beautiful energy that surround them. It's like, wow. But what I really learned is that the experiences that I had with my twin flame union were not just because of my partner. That's literally how I experience life and love overall. All the synchronicities, the signs and the symbols and the this and the that, you know, that's just who I am. And I had to learn that that's my vibration. That's me experiencing life, and I get a chance to experience it with other people and share myself with other people. It was so beautiful to learn that, you know, it's not just with this one person. That love that I felt with that person, when we broke up, I thought that he was taking that from me, but it's like, no, that's Kateria. She experiences those synchronicities and those miraculous happenings, and that's just who she is. And so whoever I'm with, they're going to experience those things with me. So this was very profound for me to learn, and it meant so much because it's like that one thing that I thought that I wouldn't have anymore was going to be gone, but no, I still have me entirely. So it was very powerful experiencing the twin flame, and I wish my twin flame the best. He's a very beautiful, awesome, growing human being, and may he find and have everything that he's looking for in his reality after the karma and all the lessons and unfolding that we all naturally have within our realities. And I do want to once again apologize for all the background noise, you guys. Definitely excuse me. I do have mics, but they just are not compatible with this camera, so you won't be hearing so much background noise in the future, but thank you guys for understanding, your patience, your light, your love, your comments, your shares, your subscribes, all of that good stuff. I'm checking out. Peace. The second thing that I learned from being in a twin flame union, I forgot what it is. Oh, the extent of my insecurities.